Greetings, everyone! Joker here! And welcome back to my channel. Guys, in today's video, I'm here to talk about Joker 2. Because I don't know how to pronounce the actual name for it, so we're gonna call it Joker 2. Now, I've heard many things about the film before I watched it. I just watched it there now. The credits were rolling. As a matter of fact, I'll prove it to you.
But I know one thing. Each time I find myself.
And we're gonna stop it there because I don't want to get copyrighted, even though I seem to get copyrighted every video. Now, I've heard a lot of things about the film before I watched it, such as a lot of hate. A lot of people didn't like it, and yeah. So I'm here to share my opinions on it. So let's get to it. So, and I'm also gonna do this without. Well, there might be some spoilers, so there's your warning. But as a movie, it was good. It is a musical. I didn't think that I don't really like musicals. I hate the movie Grease Lightning. Well, maybe hate's pushing it a bit. But I didn't like Grease Lightning. I don't really like musicals. But this one, I kind of enjoyed. A lot of the musical parts are inside Joker's head. Some of the scenes. And as a movie, it was good. It's a fun watch. But I will say that Arthur Fleck is no Joker. He isn't. And no hate to Joaquin Phoenix because he did a great job of what he was told to do. So the people judging Joaquin for what he did, you know, you're a fucking idiot because he's only doing what the director tells him to do, you know. He gets handed the material and he works with that. So the people who judge Joaquin for it, you're a bit of a dumbass, I'm afraid. But hey, it's one of the curses about being a dumbass. You don't quite understand that you're a dumbass because you're that dense. Anyway. Now, I did like the movie, I did, but it ain't no Joker. I mean, there's Joker elements, you know, the face paint, his clothing, he's a performer, but it was more of a guy trying to be a Joker, but I kind of understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it more realistic, more grounded, but my biggest pain, which I'll get to in a moment, but before I get to that, Harley Quinn in it, she's played by Lady Gaga. You just heard her singing whenever I played that there. She did good, also what she was told to do, but I don't like how much of a fucking bitch she was. No offense to Lady Gaga, you know. She makes great music. Personally, don't listen to it myself, but I've heard a few songs. And as far as I know, she's a nice lady. But her Harley Quinn was a fucking bitch. Like, she lies to him multiple times. One about having a child. Or we don't know if that's a lie, to be honest, by judging by the fact that she smokes. I would assume that, you know, she is lying about that. Then again, maybe she doesn't care. But the acting was great in this film, it really was, and I'm not going to criticize the acting because it was good. It was a good movie. My only fault is it wasn't the Joker. Now, I guess you could say the title, you know, the movie's just called Joker, you know, Joker, and then Joker fole, I think that's how you pronounce it. I think it's French for share the madness, something like that. But, yeah, my only flaw is that it wasn't the Joker, you know. And here's the part that really annoyed me about the film. A real Joker, right, wouldn't stop being the Joker. At the end of the film, says that he's Arthur Fleck, not the Joker, and I feel like a real Joker wouldn't do that. You know, you are what the Joker. You know, there is nothing beyond that, and I don't know, it was just kind of upsetting to watch, I suppose. It was no Joker to me, anyway. And if people look at that and go, that's the Joker, I'm afraid you don't quite understand the material where the movie comes from. But I do understand they're trying to make it more grounded, I believe, and realistic. But it ain't Joker, you know. You could have made him this kind of like in the first film, you know, he could have went on to rebel. You know, he could have ran that movement. There's literally people rioting for him in the movie. You know, that's why Harley comes into play as well. She falls in love with this maniac, you know. But, you know, he comes out and he says he's Arthur Fleck, there is no Joker. And that's one of the things that bug me. But the real thing that bugs me about the film is the actual ending. And I did warn you that I may spoil it, so here's the big spoiler. So, if you don't want to be spoiled any further, shoot! Go! Be gone! Okay, he's gone? Good. Right. At the very end, Arthur is stabbed to death. He is stabbed to death. At least, I believe he was stabbed to death. I mean, he drops to the ground, bashed his head beforehand, so that could be internal bleeding. And he has this big fucking stab wound in his stomach, and he drops, and he looks into the camera, and the fucker doesn't blink, doesn't look like he's breathing. And I believe he dies, and that's what really irks me about this film. If you're trying to make a franchise, don't kill off the main role. I mean, it can work in some circumstances, but I don't know, that's just one of the things that bug me. You know, he could have even redeemed himself by saying he's not the Joker. He could have went through the stabbing, survived it, maybe killed the guy who stabbed him, and went on to be the Joker. Again, you know, poor writing, but it could have worked. But the thing that really, really bugs me, and this is the main one, I know what I just said was the main one, but this is the main one. The guy who stabs him, he tells him a joke before he stabs him. It's something about this psycho walks into a bar and he sees this old clown, and he goes up to him and he's like, "Hey, I used to watch you on TV." And this old clown's drinking and whatnot, and the guy's like, I think he said how upsetting or how disappointing, and he offers to buy the clown a drink, and the clown says to him, well, if you're buying, you can get me whatever you want. And the psycho says, great, you get what you fucking deserve, and starts stabbing him to death. So, that not only in the joke, but in the movie, the guy stabs Arthur. And Arthur has this little fantasy moment. As I said, all the musical bits are in his head, as far as I'm aware. I'm pretty sure most of them are. And, you know, he dies, but the guy who stabbed him is laughing like a maniac. And he goes up against the wall and he starts giggling and laughing. And he carves a smile into his face. Now, that could be setting up for the real Joker, but I'm going to tell you why I don't think it works. Why I don't really like that idea. I don't like the idea of Joker being inspired by someone. It's kind of a letdown, I suppose. Now, I guess you could say the same for me, but I'm not in a movie. I mean, I do my own little movies. I have my own little fantasies about this being a show, but the actual Joker, like an interpretation of the Joker for a film, I feel like he shouldn't be inspired by some nut job who had these fantasies and wore clown makeup and called himself the Joker, you know. I don't know, it's kind of a bit of a letdown. But yeah, that's my opinions on the movie. I'm not gonna. I did like the movie. It's just it ain't the Joker, you know. That ain't Joker, you know. If you took Joker and made him like, I don't know, fucking Coco the Clown, or I don't know, something like that, maybe it might have worked. But I didn't really. That ain't the Joker to me. I'd say Jared Leto's more Joker than that. And that's a big fucking claim to make, or a big fucking thing to say. But again, I'm not, saying that Joaquin Phoenix did bad. I love the first film. I'm just saying that the second movie is kind of a letdown. But then again, there's that saying that you can never beat a true classic, or a true classic never a true classic never goes out of style. But yeah, folks, that's my opinions, or maybe you want to call it that. I don't really know what to call it. I'm just going to say my review on Joker 2. If I had to rate it, I'd say it's a 7 out of 10. It wasn't a bad movie, it was just not the fucking Joker. Like, that's just my final comment. That ain't the Joker, Joker's meant to embrace who he is. He's meant to be in love with himself a little bit. A little bit of pushing it. He's meant to be the star of the show, and I don't know, it was just kind of disappointing. But, yeah, don't be sending any hate to, the directors or the actors, because they just did what they want. They made something. They made their art, But, yeah, that's all I really have to say, folks. So, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And have a good one.